Greetings, people of the world. Matthew back with you, and today I'm doing a video that is going to try and hopefully clear up something that has been a bit of a frustration since I've been on YouTube. And I hope that this is something that people out there, I hope they won't take this personally, but this is something that I need to convey to people in order to try and convince them that the stuff that I've done on YouTube is being done for the right reasons. And I'm saying this because since I made my debut on YouTube in November of last year, the greatest skepticism that I've gotten from people is that my channel is misleading people. And the reason I say that is this, is because one of my things that I would like to do with my Novora Autism Initiative is use it as a means of catapulting myself, hopefully, to becoming a motivational speaker on a regular basis to reach out to people who have either autistic children or who are autistic themselves, and be able to convey my experiences, my personal life experiences, as hopefully as a means of inspiring these people to overcome their own adversities with autism. And this is something that I would definitely like to do a lot in the future. And it's something that also has allowed me to be able to get to the point where I've been able to associate with myself with the Waterloo Region Family Network, where I can be involved with something like the Ladder program, which we started earlier this year, that helps people of all disabilities, not just people with autism, and allows them the opportunity to be able to gain from experiences of people like myself and other people who are mentors in that program, and allows them the opportunity to see what we have accomplished in life. That's what I've been hoping to accomplish with my Novora Autism Initiative, and I felt that one of the best ways that I could do this is by going onto YouTube and just relaxing and enjoying something that I do, a hobby of mine, like playing video games, is something that has taken up the bulk of my work here on YouTube. And unfortunately, the biggest skepticism I've gotten from people is that by doing this, it misleads them and shows that I have no initiative of doing that sort of thing, that I have no interest in doing it, and that it misleads people into thinking that it's not what I'm intending to do. Here's the problem, though, with what the skeptics are thinking. They are so fixated on the fact that I'm playing video games that they seem to be oblivious to the fact that I'm just even speaking at all. You gotta keep in mind that for autistics, one of our biggest difficulties is communicating with people. That is one of our biggest challenges, and it has always been difficult for someone like myself in my position, especially growing up as a child. Communicating with people was always one of the most difficult things I had to do. I mean, I could speak. There was no question I could speak because I have Asperger's syndrome, which means that I'm more capable of communicating verbally with people as opposed to a lot of other autistics who just can't communicate at all and who are completely oblivious to the world around them. And that was always one of my greatest challenges. And so I've always wanted to have the opportunity to overcome the fact that it was difficult for me to communicate with people, especially in my own family, where the majority of my family are women, and they, of course, they are all into girly stuff, and I'm not really into that for the most part, and so I can't really relate to them at all. And then the guys in my family, like, I'm really into sports, but they're really more into action movies, and they're more into really like the Arnold Schwarzenegger type of stuff, and Sylvester Stallone, and that sort of thing, and that's just not who I am. And I've tried as best I could to try and gain an interest in what they are interested in, and to some extent it has worked, but the other way around, not so much. It's always been one of the greatest challenges to be able to communicate with my own family, knowing that there is such a barrier in the fact that our interests are so, like, worlds apart. that's always been the greatest challenge. So when I grew up and became an adult, it was even more of a challenge because a lot of the places where I've had paying work have been in places where either a lot of the work I've done has been by myself or has been in a loud environment where you can't even hear what the next person next to you is saying. And so communication in that sense has always been a challenge. I'm just really grateful for the fact that I get to speak at all to anyone, and knowing that I won't always be able to get an opportunity to hang out with my friends because our schedules are so varied, or we live so far apart now, or that sort of thing, you know? That's always been a challenge for me. And it's just something that I've always wanted to try and overcome. It's something that I'm glad that when I was drafted by the Knights of Columbus, well, not necessarily drafted, but when they brought me into their ranks, early on, one of the first things they did was encourage me to get into a leadership role that would put me in a situation where I would have to communicate more with other people. And that allowed me to start to communicate more regularly with other people, and being able to put my thoughts together and wanting to convey my emotions to people. That was always a challenge that was always tough for me when I was growing up, but being involved with the volunteer work of the Knights of Columbus has definitely helps me improve in that area. Of course, in my situation, having not had much of an opportunity to do that as a child, I still have a long way to go. And so I wanted to try and branch out to get more of an opportunity to communicate and speak more so that I could improve myself as far as communication was concerned. So creating the Novora Autism Initiative has really helped me to get a good start in that, and wanting to go on YouTube to be able to just talk while doing something that I enjoy is something that I felt was really good for me. But as I said before at the start of the video, my skeptics think otherwise, and this is unfortunately a really bad problem with the world today. We're so fixated on what we see on the surface that we do not look deeper. We don't see the purpose of something. Like, this is why so many people have become despondent with religion, for example. People are so desperate for, we want answers right now, and when they don't get them, they go away and they never come back. It's the same thing with life, really, because we're so desperate for the surface answers, we don't see the deep meaning. And the skeptics, they really do not understand what I'm trying to do. Because by communicating more regularly through these YouTube videos, by doing something that I enjoy, it allows me the opportunity to be able to try and improve myself more frequently, more regularly. This is something that I want to do by improving my speech, by improving my ability to not pause so long or take a long time to think or say one word and then think to myself, ugh, I didn't mean to say that word, I meant to say another word. That's what I'm trying to accomplish on YouTube. That's one of the biggest things that I wanted to do. And I'm very fortunate that a couple of months ago I came across a YouTube gamer who I can relate to in this regard, that they were in a similar situation as I was in terms of communicating with people. They weren't very good at it, or they were very timid about it, and they wanted to improve. And they were in a situation where when they made their YouTube debut, it was done reluctantly, but as this person found out, they were able to grow a lot more than they ever thought they could as far as communicating with people. This person I'm referring to is a female YouTube gamer who's based out of Atlanta, who goes by, her YouTube pseudonym is Masay Anella, and I'm going to put up on the description some links to explain why she has been able to accomplish the communication skills that she sought to achieve. And it'll show that in her first video, she sounded very reluctant. She didn't sound all that sure of herself. She just was like, okay, let's just get this over with. But when you see her videos now, it's just like, it's night and day. It's not even remotely close. And she was able to accomplish this in only a few years. That's very impressive. And so I feel like if there's anyone that I feel could relate to what I'm going through as far as developing communication is concerned, it would be Masayanella. And I hope that for the skeptics out there, if they have the opportunity to look at the videos that I'll be using as reference points, these include obviously her first video on YouTube, as well as her most recent one as of the day of this broadcast that I'm doing. And in addition to that, she also has some Q&A videos that she put up. And there are two of them in particular that really validate what she hoped to accomplish out of this and what I myself would like to accomplish out of this. Because we're both in the same boat in this regard. We want to both be able to communicate more, to be able to communicate better. And we see YouTube as an opportunity to accomplish this, to achieve our eventual goals. I believe she's already there. She might think otherwise. She might think she's not quite there yet. She might want to go just a little higher. But I'm just probably putting words in her mouth and I can't quite answer for her. However, for those of you who are skeptics out there of what my Novora Autism YouTube channel is trying to serve, I hope that this particular video will help you, and that by watching Masayanella's videos, you'll get the opportunity to understand what she was trying to accomplish as well. Now, I will certainly take any other skepticism in that regard, but I hope that in terms of the purpose of my Novora Autism YouTube channel, that what it's trying to accomplish, what it's trying to serve, I hope that this video will alleviate the skepticism and also allow you the opportunity to understand more of what I'm trying to do as my time on YouTube progresses. So this is what I wanted to get across in this particular video, and I hope that all of you will understand what I'm trying to accomplish through it. I mean, if my first video on YouTube was any indication, my two-part video on my tribute to my grandfather by using a video game as a medium to do this, it should be quite clear what my objective is. So I hope that this has put an end to any possible skepticism in this regard. And I hope that by watching this video and by having the opportunity to look at Masayanella's work, you'll be able to understand what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to end it here, and I'd like to thank all of you for watching this video, and I hope that in the future you'll understand why it is that I do what I do. So until next time, everyone, take care, and I'll see you soon.